Today is July 26, 2019. I am Ethan Ray, and I am interviewing Jimmy Carver at the Newkirk Public Library, Newkirk, Oklahoma. I'm a member of the Newkirk 4-H Go-Getters, and this is for the Oklahoma Military Hall of Fame project. What motivated you to join the military?
At the time I enlisted, there was an obligation of 6 years for every male of the draft age and in good health. So I had 6 years to serve, and it was between Korea and Vietnam, so there was nothing active going on. I chose to enlist in the reserves, and I spent 6 years in the Kansas Air National Guard.
Tell me a little about your time in basic training.
Basic training, I served 11 weeks in Lackland Air Force Base, San Antonio, Texas. In the middle of the summer, it's hot, it's humid. You hang a T-shirt out at night. We had a clothesline. We did our own laundry. Had a clothesline, and the next morning it wasn't dry. It was wetter than it was when you hung it out the night before. But I had a good time in basic training.
What was your primary job after training?
After basic training, my time was spent at McConnell Air Force Base, Wichita, Kansas. I was in a support group called the Ground Powered Section. We serviced and maintained the units that start the aircraft. They had generators that would fire the planes up, and that's where I spent my time.
Where did you serve the majority of your time in service?
It was spent at McConnell Air Force Base in Wichita. 2-week summer camp was also spent there, except for one year we went to Gulfport, Mississippi, but that was the only summer camp I spent away from Wichita. The rest of the time was just 1 full weekend a month, and then 2 weeks in summer camp.
What rank are you most proud to have earned, and why?
Well, the highest rank I earned was Airman First Class. That's 3 stripes. That's the equivalent of Buck Sergeant in Army. But that was my highest rank.
Which medals or citations are you most honored to have received, and why?
The only thing I have received is the honorable discharge. We didn't go into combat, so there was nothing really to be cited for.
Tell me about some of the special people you met.
Oh, there were a lot of special people. I remember another little guy from Kansas, about my size. We were on a night march in basic training, and we always had to take salt tablets to keep our energy up, so we'd maintain moisture and liquid in our body. And if you didn't, you could get heat stroke awfully easy. And there was once on a night march that this other little guy and I carried a pretty good-sized boy from Montana. He had his arm around our shoulders, and we drug him about 3 miles to a point that we could drop him off. I don't know, there were a lot of wonderful people. that I met while I served.
What was your best and worst military food you were served, and why?
The only time I was served military food was in basic training and our 2 weeks in Gulfport, Mississippi. But I like everything, so it didn't matter. They call us chow hounds. We want to eat. And of course, didn't do much for me.
Tell me a funny story you experienced that could only happen in the military.
Oh, was that on my list? Okay. Something funny. I'm going to have to pass on that. We may come back to it.
How did your military experience affect your life today?
Very much so. Very much so. At that time, it was not unusual at all for everybody to go through basic training, and I think that would be a great asset to causing our young people to feel part of this country. We're at a point where nobody fully appreciates what this country is. And I think basic training would be the best thing in the world for every young person, boys and girls alike. But it's affected my life greatly.
Is there any other stories you would like to share?
Other than the fact that I had a great experience with the people that I worked around, of course, that rubbed off even to private life, because my time in the military was reserved, and of course I had a steady job besides that was giving me time off in the summer to go to summer camp, and weekends weren't a problem anyhow. But my 6 years was a good investment. I appreciate the fact that you're in the 4-H, and that's a prime area for you to learn and appreciate the world about you. And I don't know, I'm happy to respond to this.
Do you keep in touch with any of the other people, any of the other men you served with in the reserves?
A couple, yeah. There's a man that lives in Mulvane that we went to church together in Wichita, and we see some of the others once in a while.
Were you married to this beautiful young lady that you'd known since his age?
She has been married to me for 62 years. Come next month. We were in the same home room in the 9th grade. We dated all through high school, and got married as soon as I got back from basic training. So, yeah, we know each other pretty well.